WandaVision Episode 9, the series finale. It's here, finally, the series is over. After 9 episodes, 9 weeks of watching WandaVision since January. It's finally over, and there's a review talking about it. So, overall, thought it was a pretty good episode. Tied the knot of the episode pretty well, and want to kick it off? What you thought about it?
Yeah. Actually, overall, now that it's set and done, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it sucked, but it was pretty good. For its own original idea for a show, I think it was pretty cool and interesting. It kept me wondering what was going to happen next at the end of each episode. Dragged a little bit at the beginning, in some parts, even in the middle, more hyped up episodes. It had its moments, but overall it's pretty good. I liked it. I'm looking forward to see what happens next with the conclusion.
Yeah, so overall I thought it was pretty good series overall this episode. It was tied everything all together pretty well. The inclusion with Scarlet Witch and her powers, how she finally got her powers now and finally fully embraced herself as the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was cool, her getting her name revealed. Vision, seeing his what at the beginning of the show we all thought, okay, Vision's dead. How is he here? He died in Infinity War, and seeing throughout all 9 episodes where he kind of came from and how he's all from Wanda's.
His understanding progressed. Yeah. He's part of the Mind Stone that's inside of Wanda, and basically he got told the truth from Wanda, and he kind of was at peace with it. And he gave basically his memory at the end to the new White Vision. So spoilers. He kind of just disappeared.
We'll get there.
You shouldn't be watching this if you haven't.
If you're watching this without seeing the episode, what are you doing? All right, so we'll start.
Come back. Click it off. Come back.
Come back. Make sure you come back.
Yeah.
All right, so episode starts off. We see Wanda, and it picks up right where episode 8 left off. Wanda and Agnes fighting.
Yep.
There's not too much to break down.
Agatha.
Agatha now, but not too much to break down this episode. It's pretty precise, so there's not too much diving deep we really need to do. But so Agatha are fighting with right where episode 8 picked up. Picks up right where it left off.
Had Billy and Tommy by a leash.
Yep, Billy and Tommy, they're asking their mom to let him go. She starts shooting her powers at her. She's like, boom, boom, dang. The kids run away. They get back inside, and all of a sudden, they kind of get more into the fight. She's kind of egging her on. She's absorbing her power a little bit, and then she gets hit. And she's like, oh, you don't have, these powers aren't going to affect me. She's like, I can absorb these powers. She's like, oh, yeah, okay. Boom. Throws a car at her, sends her into the house. Mm-hmm. She goes through the house with the car, and
didn't see that coming.
It kind of left for a Wizard of Oz, Evil Witch, Wicked Witch of the West style,
like a reference Easter egg.
Reference Easter egg
with the boots being on the ground, like the ruby red slippers, basically.
With the broken house on top of her. It wasn't really, but so then all of a sudden, after that,
she disappears for a couple.
Minutes. She does disappear. You don't really see her. She kind of almost looks like her clothes. Then White Vision comes out of nowhere, and he comes up to Wanda, acting almost confusing both Wanda and us as the audience. Like, he kind of comes up to her, not harmful. He kind of comes up to her, what's the word I'm looking for,
without fear of...
being hostile.
Yeah, he wasn't being hostile at first. He was kind of coming at her normally, and Wanda was wondering why
what's up? Yeah, why is Vision? What's up with him?
He puts his hands on her head and presents to squeeze her brain.
Yeah, if Vision wasn't there, she probably would have gotten crushed.
Yeah, that was a cool part when Vision just was like, "Yup."
It reminded me of Man of Steel when when Zod and the crew was after Martha and Superman comes dashing in.
Remind me of Terry Tate linebacker. If you ever looked up that video on YouTube, it reminded me of.
So then, boom, Vision and White Vision are now going at it. They're fighting. All of a sudden, Vision throws him into a truck. The truck blows up, makes for a cool cinematic blow-up moment. And then Scarlet Witch is still kind of dazed and confused.
Yeah.
And she comes up to Vision. She confesses all. She's like, oh, I should have told you all along. I was lying to you. This is what's happening. Kind of explains it to him pretty briefly.
But Vision was pretty understanding.
Yeah, he kind of got it pretty quick. Then, all of a sudden, Agnes pops back up. And then Vision goes to fight White Vision. Revision. Someone came up with that name. I like that. Revision. You like that?
No.
So then...
No.
I like it. Revision, like a remodel revision. So Agnes is now fighting Scarlet Witch again. She pops up. They're like, okay. They're going at it again. They start fighting again. And then we cut back to Vision fighting White Vision. They're kind of... It was a pretty cool fight overall. What did you think of the White Vision fight?
The fights in the whole episode were good, but they weren't Marvel tier top
They were a
tier
little
fights.
underwhelming.
I mean, for this finale, I thought it would have been a little better, to be honest with you. I think it was good, but it should have been a lot better. It was so overhyped with, my main takeaways, and this is kind of taken away from the current Vision fight, but I'm saying, there was no big, huge surprise cameo. There wasn't this big, huge overall understanding, revealing thing at the end besides what we already know.
Multiverse either.
Yeah, nothing really with the multiverse. Jimmy Woo had very little time to shine. He was put in cuffs half the episode. He did the right thing. He pulled through. Jimmy Woo, second favorite character of the series. Basically, everything was good, but it didn't live up to the hype. Like, everyone was like, oh my gosh, the finale. I was watching Entertainment Tonight last night. They were like, what do you guys expect for the finale? It's going to be so great, right? It's going to be so crazy. It was good, but it was no Civil War, Avengers type thing. I understand it.
It's its own show.
It's their own standalone budget show, but I mean, even The Mandalorian had epic finales where you're like, wow, look at that.
It didn't have that Luke Skywalker moment.
No.
But honestly, I wasn't expecting that.
Even with the use of everyone's powers, I mean, it was a bunch of zip, zap, zoop, little like...
Yeah, the fights were...
Fairy Godmother
the witch fight was pretty underwhelming for me. It was...
That was just floating in the sky. Vision was basically just tossing and turning, like, going through...
I did like the
They weren't even getting hurt that
I
much.
the use of his phase ability in the fight, though. I thought that was cool. When he punched and
It didn't even affect them, though. They were phasing in and out. They were beaming at each other. Like, it wasn't even that climactic. It was basically like you knew what was going to happen. I mean, either one of the Visions were going to come out winning. But then they basically had their own... Where's Martha moment with, like, do you remember this philosophy of the ship? Is it still a ship? Whatever the heck.
Right, we'll get there. We'll get there. So
the fight was good.
So then
mediocre but good.
They're fighting each other. Then it zooms into her getting put into the town. Fast forward to anything else that happens, kind of that's where it starts to pick up again. She's in the middle of Westview. All of a sudden, she's talking to Agatha. Keep calling her Agnes. Agatha. She's talking to her. Then Agatha wakes up one of the people in Westview, one of the civilians in Westview, breaks her out of Wanda's spell.
It was Dottie.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I have a daughter.
I just want to see my daughter. Let me see my daughter. Whatever. She's like, whatever act you want me to play, I'll play it. Let me see my daughter. And that was pretty, like, they're really making Wanda like the villain. Like,
yeah.
She really...
Wanda was realizing that, okay, well, all these people are getting free of my spell right now, and they all are looking at me. And she's realizing, like, they're all done. They were feeling the pain of when she's having nightmares or dreams. They were also feeling that.
They're playing this role that Wanda's making her play. Wanda's making them play.
Yeah, I knew from the very beginning. I'm like, I don't know what they're going to do with Wanda being able to go out into the free world or even join the quote-unquote Avengers team, and the next time they have to do a battle without her constantly being tracked down by the government, SWORD, or anybody else. But focus on that a little bit later. But when she's in the town talking to the people, she realizes...
Yeah, so Agatha wakes them all up.
Yep.
And then they all start coming at her like zombies. They're like, you do this to us. Why do you let us free? Let us go. We don't want to be here. You see Herb, you see Norm, and then a bunch of other other people that aren't main characters. You see them, they're all coming up to her like, what's up? Why are you doing this to us? Then all of a sudden, Wanda freaks out. She doesn't want to hear it anymore. She puts these metal cuffs on their necks, start choking them.
Yeah.
They start falling to the ground, and she's like, oh crap, I gotta stop that. She stops them. They're all angry. They're like, don't let us go through this. We'd rather die. What's her name? The lady. Yeah, the lady from the first episode. Stop it, lady.
Stop it.
She was like, oh, just let us die. Don't let us keep playing this part. I don't want to be here.
So basically, Wanda just unleashed the rest of the hex to get opened up, and she told them to run and go. What I was wondering, where did all those children go that were in the Halloween episode? Where did everybody else go that was on the outskirts of town?
That are skipping.
Or even the girl Dottie was saying that she had a girl stuck in her house. She said, oh, my daughter's locked in her room. I'm like, did she magically get breaking free? But I don't know. So they all ran away, and as they ran away, the sword people in the tanks
running through.
came
Take
through.
advantage of the hex opening up.
Hayward was watching it the whole time.
So then
he was a stupid character in my opinion. I didn't care for him.
Either.
I didn't like half the characters, to be honest with you. Only a couple, but we're gonna get to that in a separate video with our favorite characters.
Character ranking video.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for it. But so then goes back to Vision fighting with Revision, and they're
White.
fighting in this like room.
White android Vision.
Yeah, so they realize Vision, classic Vision, realizes I'm not gonna beat this guy by we're just gonna keep punching each other back and forth. It's gonna go nowhere.
So he's smart.
He dodges through. He grabs him and he like touches his head, and then he starts like he's like okay, well, like they kind of stop fighting, and they kind of do this whole philosophy thing about the ship being rebuilt, and it's like you're like the ass White Vision.
You're really Vision.
Yeah,
he's
why are
more
you
Vision
here?
than he is because he's more of a memory of something Wanda made out of pure will rather than actually the White Vision is more of the Vision. So in theory, he's saying, "Oh, I must destroy Vision. That was my goal."
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he comes to his senses using his mind and the knowledge that he still has access to, but a lot of it's being suppressed. So, the Vision that's been in the show the longest, normal WandaVision, has gone and White Vision allowed him to touch his head and see the truth. Then he sees the truth. His eyes change from like android to more of the normal human
Vision,
android,
yeah.
regular normal Vision eyes, and he goes away. He like shoots up and goes away.
Never to return again.
Yeah.
So he
I
flies
have
up.
theories on what probably is going to be. He's probably going to be back to normal, quote unquote.
Yeah, because Vision gives him his memories.
Yeah.
He restores. He basically gives all of Vision into him. I think he did that realizing that he wasn't going to survive.
Yeah.
Because I forgot to mention when she lets the hex go, you see Billy, Tommy, and Vision start to evaporate again.
Yeah,
And
as the
they gotta
bad guys were
disappear.
coming through, and they were still fighting with the android Vision. The Wanda realized that the hex
She's
was
destroying
opening up,
it.
and the hex was getting destroyed, but they were also getting zapped away, almost like the snap.
Yeah, it is like similar imagery like the snap.
The blink, what did they call it in Spider-Man?
The blip.
The blip.
Yeah, I think it was that. So you see, they're kind of getting they're disappearing like the snapping, and Vision and White Vision are fighting. He wakes him up. He's like, okay, boom. He gives all of his memories into Vision. So then Wanda and Agatha are now fighting again. They just continue fighting, and as they're fighting, you see Quicksilver.
Yeah, I was gonna say before that. Yeah, we're gonna go into the point where in the episode they kind of went to Quicksilver,
His lair.
his lair. So they went to where he's been staying, and it's revealed that he's actually not any type of multiverse Quicksilver.
Nope.
He's not even.
Just Kevin Feige teasing us.
Yeah, Papa Feige always messing us up. Not even telling the truth. Everybody was speculating that he's gonna be. This is the start of the X-Men, or this is gonna be something. Yeah, there's such great news for me, and nothing.
Nope,
it was just a
nothing.
tease. I had a feeling, and I even said it in previous videos, that it wasn't gonna be anything big. I think it was gonna be a tease, just having cast Evan Peters to play this random guy, and that's what it ended up being. His name was Ralph, which is.
Did you see that coming? Did you see that coming? I didn't see that coming.
His name was Ralph.
It was Ralph. Agatha's husband, Ralph. That's him all along.
Mhm.
So you see, what's her?
Obviously, she wasn't married to him or anything like that, but she kept
Yeah,
calling
to play
him.
the role in the show, in the WandaVision show, she's calling her her husband.
It was weird that there was a picture of him with the name on it.
Yeah, so Monica grabbed his picture, and it's like a weird kind of. It's like a.
people are speculating.
It's
if
not a
that
picture
was,
you have of yourself around your house.
If
It's
that
pretty
was
random.
that the missing person that they were trying to talk
That
about.
Jimmy Woo was trying to track
In
down
the
as he's a
beginning?
missing person.
I
It
don't know.
would make sense. That could make sense. Maybe.
So the
Go into
necklace
that.
that he had around his neck was what gave him powers because Monica did a takedown.
Rips it up.
WWE, UFC style,
MMA.
ripped it off him.
So then Vision and he kind of comes back after Revision goes flying up, never to come back. They're kind of the sword people approach, and they're all coming through. All these military sword agents are coming,
Yeah.
along with
Hayward.
Hayward. So he's coming through. He's like, okay, I'm here. Wanda goes to fight Agatha again, and the kids are left there to take care of them along with Monica. So you see Billy and Tommy. Tommy goes, he runs, he messes up, he takes their guns and all their stuff, and he puts on their gear, he puts on his hat to tease them like Quicksilver would.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that was a slow-mo scene. I think it would have been funny. Like if you see him messing with them.
They didn't do
It
anything
was just like
that.
quick. Again, with their powers, like you were saying, it's not.
Quicksilver's powers weren't really shown off that cool. It was kind of just like the Flash TV show, and also what we've seen in Age of Ultron with that.
See the little wisp.
Even Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver had cool scenes when he was kind of running in slow mo. They didn't really do anything with that with the show.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of just throw it in there just to almost move the story along fast.
Yeah.
They never really dove into their powers that much.
So then Monica, as Hayward steps out of his vehicle, he pulls out a gun. He's about to shoot the kids, which is it's a pretty mean move. You don't shoot kids. He goes shoot the kids. Then Monica jumps through. You see her powers, these like photon powers. That's her superhero name.
The bullets go through and stop, basically fall to the ground, Superman style, when they hit her. And then also,
Billy. He grabs the bullet and drops it to the floor, which is pretty cool. Hayward goes back into his car. He steps on the reverse, flies back. Then as he's about to pull forward, like probably run them over or something. He's gonna try to do something, which really doesn't make sense because they could just throw him. I don't know. But then Darcy comes out of nowhere after she hasn't been seen with the ice cream truck. It drives through, hits him.
This is like a circus car. I forget what that
it looks like an ice cream car.
Hot dog van. I don't know.
So then Darcy hits Hayward, traps him in his car,
and she's like, "You're going to jail.
You're done now, son."
Darcy really isn't in the show that much more after that. She only had that one scene. But then after that, while everything was happening with the Agatha fight with Wanda, her hands started to turn black like the witches in the last episode. As Agatha's fighting with them,
taking her power as she's hitting her.
She's sucking the life force power out of Wanda, and that's what she wants. She's like, "Give me your powers because I could use them better. I can show you how to." She didn't even want to show Wanda. She wanted to just take all the powers from the chaos magic from Scarlet Witch, so she could harness it and use it for what she felt her will be done.
Yeah, so she promises her that she'll give her her fantasy life if she lets her take her powers. She's like, "Oh, I promise you, I'll give you that, but you give me your powers first." And all along, she's lying to her. Wanda and Agatha go up into the sky. They start fighting. Vision's like, "No, stop it." Wanda goes, "Yeah, no, send them flying down." She's like, I got this. I'll take care of this." Then they're fighting in the sky. She's shooting the energy blasts at Agatha. Every time she does that, Agatha's absorbing her power.
Yeah.
She's taking it little by little, like you're charging a cell phone battery. She's charging Agatha
just draining
with power.
She's draining her power. But while she's doing that, I thought it was obvious, but I mean, I don't know if they have another explanation for it. But the reason why she's throwing some magic energy blasts,
like they're missing,
at the walls of the hex, is
she's casting
the spell that was in Agatha's underground cave under her house, which is the same type of spells that were stopping Wanda from using powers. So she basically did the same spell all around the hex to make
Agatha.
Well, no, to make Wanda have complete power and Agatha not.
Yeah.
So Agatha ended up trying to go do something.
Yeah, because she takes
and
it.
She couldn't.
So yeah, because when Wanda shoots all of her power at Agatha, she's like, "Take it all, take all my power, I'm done."
Yep.
And she shoots all the power at her. She's like, "Okay, take all my power." Then all of a sudden, she gets all the power.
You said it like
Wanda's shooting all of her powers at Agatha. Agatha absorbed all of her power at this point. Wanda's all shriveled up. She's dying. Then Agatha's like, "You've done messed up. I gotta take out the trash." she throws all of her power at Wanda, and obviously she's like, "It's not working." She goes, she does it again. Nothing happens. And Wanda,
what's the sound she made?
She's like Then Wanda's like, stupid.
Well, wait. Predictable.
But still predictable.
But still predictable.
She throws the powers. You don't get that at all, probably. She throws the powers of the runes. The runes pop up. She's like, "Ha ha ha! You've messed up. So predictable."
Thanks for showing me your
Tricks.
little spell trick. She's like, take that. I used it right back at you. She's like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
It got good right there. That was like,
in your face, Agatha.
Yeah.
Justice for, what's his name? The little dog?
Oh, Sparky.
Yeah, justice for Sparky. It's gonna be a new t-shirt.
We should make a merch.
Yeah.
First merch. Stay tuned.
Justice for Sparky.
So then Wanda is like, ha, I'm all done. Then you see the vision, like how she saw in Sokovia. You saw that, like with all the lights behind her.
Yeah.
She's kind of ascending.
She basically, in that moment, she became the full Scarlet Witch.
So I guess that maybe was in that episode predicting the future. Like we were wondering, like what was she seeing? I guess it really was maybe predicting
Or
the
she
future.
just saw what she was gonna become.
Which would be predicting the future. So you see that
Show
shot?
the future.
That probably going to be an iconic shot of the show. Wanda, you see like the full outline. Boom, she gets her suit. She transforms like a Power Ranger into a Scarlet Witch costume. Then she starts fighting Agnes again. She's like shooting all the blast at her again. She sends her flying down to the ground. She's like, "Duh, you're done. I won. This is my place now." And Agnes is like, "No, you're gonna need me. You don't know. You have no
I
clue.
can teach you things that no one's taught you.
You're more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme. You have nothing that's gonna happen. You don't know what kind of terror you just unleashed." And Wanda's like,
She's
yeah,
like,
okay.
yeah, well, I'll have you on my back pocket. I'm just gonna keep you as the noisy neighbor, and it's gonna be a gas. What did she say? She basically goes. She waves her hand over, and she becomes Agnes again.
Yep. And
The TV character.
So then
Permanently.
Then all of a sudden, everyone kind of comes back and it's like, "Mom!" He comes back to like, "We're all together again." They all come together again as a family. Like, wow, we really are an interesting family. So they go back to the house. They realize they're like, okay. Wanda's like, she knows what she has to do. She's like, all right, this is the time. This is where the tears start coming down. Goes back to the house.
I was getting a little choked up. So they waddle on over to the house. We're back to normal. Half the town's gone. They're all running for their lives, trying to find the belongings that they've never found. Anyway,
trying to go back to his dad.
Frickin' Monica and everybody else. What happened to the Sword people? They just everybody just sitting there.
They were just kind of like,
basically
okay,
in the crowd.
well, you know what? Wanda's terrorized this town, kept people separated from their family. She's totally ruining these people's lives. But
Let's just let her walk back to her house.
Just let her go back. Just let her have some fun.
Yeah, let her have her final moments. You know.
She didn't even realize it's her final moments. It just kind of like doesn't make sense.
She just goes to the house. Nighty night. She tucks the kids in. She kisses them repeatedly, like 5 times on the head.
They go back and forth like,
I'm like waiting for them to say the end of the story, and they're like, she's like, all right, love you kids. She's like, all right.
So they get tucked into bed. They go downstairs.
The kids' faces annoy me sometimes. The faces that they make, like they're trying to act too hard. That's just my personal opinion. Sorry, nothing against kids.
Wow. Yeah, I thought they were good.
Billion times, they kind of just aggravate me. I mean,
so the hex is closing in. Wanda's like, okay, I'm done. This is all done now that she's. The curtain, it's like the curtains are closing, like the red curtains are closing on the act.
The hex is literally closing in.
They're about to absorb the kid, like their kid's about to like die.
Yeah, they're like saying their final goodbyes.
And so then they go downstairs. WandaVision, they're saying their final goodbyes. She's like, "Oh, tell me what I really am." She's like, "You're human." You're like, "Wow, you're great. You're in my heart." So then Wanda, they say their final goodbyes. The hex closes in. They're all done.
Yep.
They get taken.
Mm-hmm.
Vision's like, "Oh, I love you, darling." He disappears like
we'll
like
always be
Odin.
together.
Like
Oh
Odin.
yeah.
It reminded me of we talked all right the other day when Odin disappears. He's like, oh, he's fading in. He's like fading out like a fairy dust.
It kept reminding me of Shrek when like Fiona was like changing from like the ogre to the knot. There's like this magical glowing light and like she's disappearing.
Magical fairy lights.
Yeah. Alright, so then our kids basically get disintegrated bye-bye. The hex goes away. She goes away. The house is back to normal and she's in the same clothes that she was in when she first showed up at the house and made everything appear. So everyone's left to be like, okay, so she just erased the whole house. Everything's gone back to normal, basically. The town of Westview is back to normal. It's not WandaVision TV show style anymore, so it's all reset. But then she goes back, talks to Monica for a minute.
Yeah,
and Monica's like,
you have no, they won't know what you sacrificed.
Because all the people in the town are just, this is what I don't get. All the people in the town just looking like, you mean to tell me that no one wanted to be like, Wanda, pull you up, be like, no one wanted to hurt her or anything, but I guess they feared maybe she could have just took them out or stopped them or hurt them, so they were just like all giving her dirty looks like she took like everybody's like she took the last Pokemon cards on the island.
Yeah, they all like they took the last ice cream sandwich. I don't know. They really didn't make sense. Monica's like, oh, they'll have no idea what you sacrificed.
Yeah, because Wanda was like, oh, Wanda, she's like Monica, you're not mad about this?
She's like, if I had those powers in situation, I would
I'd
take
bring
my
back
mom
my
back.
mom.
I'm like, oh. Now I thought to myself, I'm like, she's known her, like she gave away Vision.
She could have still brought back her mom and didn't have to make the whole crowd of Westview her own puppets.
Yeah, but like she could
Meat puppets. Did they say that in the episode movie? Meat puppets.
Yeah,
it was so stupid.
But yeah, so I
I
don't
don't know. It was
get
like a sappy little ending.
Then
that
Wanda
they all had.
Wanda just goes back into her Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, all the police
she
come.
just flies away. She's like,
Yeah,
like Mary
she's supposed to-
Poppins.
Yeah.
She flies away like Mary Poppins. No one's gonna do it. She's just gonna get away scot-free. She ruined these people's lives. She just goes away. She's like, she's done.
Yeah, she goes into
She's like, okay, I had my fun.
builds a house in the Netherlands or something, Norwich or whatever the heck she goes.
So episode ends. Scarlet Witch flies away. Post-credit scene, first
That's
post-credit.
where it ended, right? That's
Yeah,
where the show.
that's where it ended. WandaVision's done. Post-credit scene, first post-credit scene. There was, you see Jimmy Woo kind of organizing kind of getting everyone back.
They're like, check
yeah,
the
calling
samples.
shots.
She's like, check the samples from the refrigerator that Agatha left on in her house.
Yeah, check the PB&Js, test them, taste test them.
Yeah.
I wonder what's gonna happen with anybody. Is anything gonna like permanently be changed? I'm not really sure, but Jimmy Woo's kind of directing everybody. He's organizing it as the FBI,
And then she tells
taking
Monica.
control. Some lady comes out, she's like, Monica, somebody needs to see you in the theater. And
We're thinking it's gonna be some nice, big, huge, final, last-minute cameo.
Oh,
It's just,
Nick Fury's gonna walk up and be like,
that wouldn't even been that great.
yeah, I don't even know.
So I think obviously they said it was some big cameo, and I think it was just
It was just Paul Bettany.
it was just
for
Paul
sure.
Bettany
It
just
was
saying
just
he wanted
trolling.
to work with himself because he said I always wanted to work with this actor. It was either himself because it really didn't make really. any
He
sense.
was just trolling.
But anyway, the girl that told her to go into the theater was a Skrull, and she's like, "We need you up there
I thought I was gonna pan up to see Brie Larson in like the top stands, like, hey,
in the
how you doing?
rooftops."
Yeah, but he's like up there.
Nah, she's just like, "We got bigger missions for you now that
And
you're,
then it
you're
comes-
part of the club." I wonder what her powers are. Did her powers go away? What the heck? Does she still have them?
She's obviously just gonna be. We're gonna find out in Captain Marvel 2. That's what's gonna be her big story.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think so. So then it cuts again. More credits.
If we didn't say this already, like the girl who told her to go in transformed into the Skrull. Told her
Yeah, you
that.
said that. Which was it was cool. I like the scroll thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of setting up for something cool. So then, cuts back to a nice panning shot going through. You see, it starts to zoom in on Wanda's house. Wanda's in her house. She's
in an evergreen field with like
she's just kind of sitting there.
beautiful foliage around her and
I
some
wonder
nice
if in like a Sokovia,
crystal waters.
like a Sokovian, like if she's in Sokovia.
That's where she would have went in the first place, and then she could have had her whole family there, and no one would have stopped her.
Yeah,
but
yeah, exactly. Should have. Yeah,
I don't know.
She could have made.
How did Agatha first get in? Like that's what I want to know.
Yeah, and why did she pick? I mean, she picked Westview because that was the house. I guess Vision was gonna build for them.
Yeah, but there's so many unanswered questions. I mean, they tied up some fan theories that everybody had, and they said, well, they released the real info for like Quicksilver, which was pointless to me, and everybody else. But I just thought it was just like meh. It was just meh. Like I gave the whole show. Now that we're done talking about it, I gave the whole show. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. I never really cared for anything to do that much with Wanda and Vision in the first place, but I was open to the idea of a cool, new, interesting show. And overall, it was good. I'm not a diehard fan. Some people are like, oh my god, there's some people that are like, oh my gosh, Wanda's like the best character of the MCU. Yeah, she's really powerful, but she's a complicated, weird.
She's definitely the most powerful
hero.
Avenger for sure. She's able to just do all that. She's definitely the most powerful.
But it's just like, she doesn't even know what she's doing now. But going into this end credit scene,
Yeah,
it shows her astral projection outside of her
Yeah, I
body.
like that, but it's different than Doctor Strange. She's able to control both forms. Doctor Strange is able to get out of his body, but his body's asleep, and the other one is kind of floating around.
Sure, she was like
fully
doing chores,
separate,
like
yeah.
moving dishes or
Mundane
something,
tasks, no, she was making tea.
making tea.
So yeah,
And then it showed you in the other room,
She's
in her own
like,
Scarlet Witch costume, she was
flipping
like
through the book.
a ghost, like flipping through the book. Reminded
her
me-
eyes are all red,
Yeah.
fully powered up. She's into it. She's like deep into this book, which this is her first,
It reminded me of like when Doctor Strange in Infinity War was like looking at all the outcomes in the for the Endgame.
But one thing I was wondering is, it's gonna tie into Doctor Strange. The first book that she's looking at, instead of going to someone like Doctor Strange,
She's
doing
looking
it on
at
her
the
own.
book of the
An evil book.
of
So it's like,
spells.
is she getting all these like bad spells? Is she gonna like maybe be the villain for WandaVision? But I think when Agatha said you have no clue what you unleashed, it might be the Mephisto train that everyone's on. Everyone's still diehard Mephisto theories,
I
which
got no clue what that guy
nothing
is,
even
though.
came of that for the show wise.
The
But
rabbit wasn't anything. The rabbit was just some
the
demonic, creepy looking rabbit.
the mailman was nothing.
The mailman was nothing.
Nothing.
Everybody was nothing.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah, that guy was annoying. Like I said, I guess I'll go into it in the character ranking. but
we'll go into it a little bit. And
everything was pretty good. Pretty good. It wasn't amazing. Wasn't bad. It was pretty good.
Overall, I enjoyed the series. It was pretty good. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was good. I liked it. 8 out of 10.
It's not getting the half mark from me. Only 7 out of 10.
Well,
But I liked it. Good job.
it was good.
I'm excited to see Captain. I'm more excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then I'm even more excited just because of how the mystery and weirdness of it, of the Loki show. I like that one. Out of all the trailers initially, that one left me the most like, I wonder what they're going to do with this. Because I kind of got a feeling what they're going to do with Captain.
It's like a
I
safe
keep
bet.
saying Captain because Captain America, but it's Falcon and Winter Soldier. I kind of got an idea what they're going to be.
I think it's
like
gonna
a
be good.
big,
I'm
cool
excited.
movie spectacle action show.
They describe it as like an 80s action movie, which I'm excited for that. It's going to be cool. A fun time. for
Loki just has the more mystery, like, what is he
sure.
doing?
Yeah, we have no clue what it even really is. He's like...
I like Owen Wilson. He's like, wow, ka-chow. Wow, you're in the multiverse now. Wow.
But yeah, so that's WandaVision. 9 episodes, the series finale of
Yeah.
WandaVision. Definitely, they're not going to continue with there's not going to be a WandaVision season 2 because
They
that's
could always do a spin-off character show with, like, Darcy and Jimmy Woo or something like that.
I want an X-Files TV series style.
X-Files with Jimmy Woo. Wow.
Jimmy Woo. He goes through and he's discovering all, like, different things, like, after Spider-Man disappears in the multiverse, maybe, he, like, discovers, he's looking all around. I don't know. I think it would make for a fun TV show.
You never know.
Sign it, Disney. Sign Jimmy Woo. He deserves more than just doing magic. He could have a whole magic show. And finally, that ends our WandaVision content. That's the end of WandaVision. It's finally over.
Series is over.
Completed
Moving
it.
on to
Bigger,
newer,
better things. Here we go.
bigger, better things, baby.
Stay tuned. We got Zack Snyder's Justice League coming up this month. We got the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer, movie. Which
Godzilla vs. Kong.
Can't wait.
Big hype for that movie. I
Can't
really
wait for
hope
that
it's going to be
movie.
good. I'm a big fan of the monster movies, so.
We're gonna be ranking the monster movies before the Godzilla vs. Kong comes out. Stay tuned for that. Talking the Winter Soldier stuff coming out.
Games, collectibles, and more also going to be talking about. So please make sure you subscribe. We got a lot of upcoming content coming out. Hit us up with a like button if you can.
Video.
Like the
If
video.
you like
Tell
it.
your friends. Tell them to like the video.
Share it. Share the
Get
video.
your whole contact list, right? And just blur the video out. Even if your grandma doesn't even watch Marvel movies. Tell her to like the video.
Or two nice young chaps. Tell your grandma to watch it.
Yeah.
She might like it.
Yeah.
But comment. Tell us what you thought of the episode. Tell us what you thought of the series overall. Thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
so.
tell us what you thought of this review too. Tell us what you
Yeah.
thought.
How can we make our content better?
Yeah.
We want to make it good for you guys. So, subscribe, stay tuned, and see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching.